Okay, so today's topic is going to be motivation. I want to give you my perspective on, well, what motivation is and obviously how to get it. Because, it seems like we need the motivation to get things done, right? So I was trying to find a way to explain motivation for me. Um, Motivation is like a big thing nowadays. You go on YouTube or you just Google it, and there's a motivational speakers. You can watch motivational video. Um, I guess there are millions of books about it, because it seems that we as humans tend to procrastinate, mainly procrastinate, or just leaving aside stuff that we know we should do and we want to do, but sometimes we find it difficult to start. And then we feel that we need this motivation. So my take on motivation is, yes, you need motivation to get things started. However, as usual in this society that we live in, we tend to outsource it, like we outsource health with taking pills, or we try to outsource anything, while in reality, and I don't want to sound washy-washy, but it comes from within. The real motivation comes from within. Yes, you might watch a video and feel pumped up today, but that's not gonna be enough over time. So we do need the motivation. It can be outsourced, however, it's going to be short-lived. So we need to find the inner motivation. And I have a process, so to speak, that I know it will help to find this motivation, or at least to get things done the way we want. So and maybe I'm gonna unmute just to get a little bit of a feedback. So Ben, what's your take on motivation? What has been your experience regarding motivation? And remember to unmute. Oh, there you go.
So no, I'm here. So certainly, from a professional perspective, huge amounts of my personal motivation comes from the fear of failure, and I've always been like that. So I'm very driven by not wanting to appear weak or have been overestimated, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you don't want to put yourself out there and say that you can do something and then fuck it up. That's a massive personal driver for myself, and it always has been. I think your personal motivation really needs to come from your own ability to set realistic goals that still push you, if that makes sense. So you need something that's achievable, but also something that's a stretch, which keeps it like, if you're hitting those markers and then exceeding them, but also that they're a challenge, then it feels like they're worthwhile doing it.
Yeah, I like it, because it ties in with what I wanted to say. Actually, it's there's a couple of things that they're congruent with what I believe. So thank you for the inputs. Basically, all right, so there's a couple of things that we can you can do to find motivation. And one thing goes very, very close, very similar to what Ben was saying. Like, okay, if you want something, you want to achieve something, obviously the hardest part is to get started. Now, how do you get started? Now, the motivation for you to get started, in my opinion, and this is something that is an expression I like to use. Sometimes you need to stop the time and you have to observe from outside, right? So in this case, you freeze the time and you look from outside. Now, let's give an example so it's clear. I am overweight and I want to lose weight, I want to lose fat. Now, the motivation for me to start a diet or going to the gym has to be, or I need to find it myself in the way that I need to think, all right, what my life is going to look like if I don't start today. So this ties in with what Ben said about the fear of failure, I think, in my head. It's like, if I don't act today, if I don't start today, what is my life going to be like in a year time, in 3 years time? Am I happy with the situation right now? If the answer is not, then you need to change it, and the best time to do it is now. And if, again, the motivation needs to come, there needs to be a pain somewhere, unfortunately. So this one can sound a little bit negative, but in reality that's a driver for change. So if the pain is high, I will find the motivation if I look for it, right? So high pain, if I stop and think, wow, if I don't start this today, what is going to happen? Where am I going to be in the next year? Or where am I going to be in the next 3 years, 5 years? And that should paint a bad and tragic enough situation that is like, okay, you don't have any other choice, right? So it's maybe a little bit sad to say, but the motivation comes from pain. If I'm okay, let's say, or if I find a way to be okay with the way I am, why do I need to change? Then, of course I'm not going to be motivated because I don't have any reason to look for change. But if my pain is high and I need a change, otherwise whatever is going to happen, then motivation will be there. So sometimes we need to stop, freeze, and look from, just stare at the situation and like, okay, am I happy? Have I been putting this off for a long time? If I did, and I know in 3 years' time it's only going to be worse, okay, today I need to get started, right? So that's boom, motivation. Again, high pain, high motivation, unfortunately. So if you don't perceive something as painful, it's going to be hard to find the motivation. It's like, it would be really hard for me to tell you into something out of the blue. Like, I can't come and tell you, oh, I want you to work 20 hours a day. You'd be like, F you. Why? But if I tell you to do it because blah, 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 because, look, you got to work 20 hours a day because you will have to pay for your son university. You will have to work 20 hours a week, 20 hours a day because you will need to buy a house, whatever that can be, right? So if you have a pain, motivation will be up there too. There's no other way around it. And then, and these things like link together. Again, it links together with what Ben said, and is, look, the hardest part is getting started. Now, if you understand that this is what you want, and you're getting started to get it done, then as soon as you getting started, first of all, it gets easier as you go. But then as soon as you get some results, let's talk about the fat loss example again. If you got this fat loss goal because you're overweight, and you decide to get started because you're like, oh, I really need to do it. I'm tired of being overweight. If I don't start now, in 3 years' time, I would be even more overweight. I'll be unhealthy. All right, I'm gonna get started. First month, you lose 2-3 kilo. How do you feel? You feel amazing, right? So then you just added a boost to your motivation, because first of all, you got started. Then, of course, it's working, and you see the results. You see that what you do is working. So that's gonna boost you. So that's another way to get motivation, right? Because now you got started, you get the results, and you should be craving for more, right? You should be craving for more. So yeah, it's a twofold situation. Like, yeah, you need to get started. So for that, you need to actually to reflect, okay, is my pain high enough that I don't have any other choice? And then you need to know that once you get started, it's getting easier. And motivation from within, it will come as you see results. So if you get started, you start seeing results, they will probably, you won't need that much motivation day to day, because when you get started, then it only gets easier, because you're going to start seeing results. You see it's doable, and you just crack on. So that's for me the two streets that can lead you to be motivated. What do you think, Ben? What's your take on it?
My take on it is, I appreciate that once someone starts seeing results, that maybe it becomes a bit easier because you put a bit more faith in the process. I can appreciate that. Like some of that stuff rings true to me. Pain as a motivator, or a circumstance as a motivator. I think they're the things that kind of get most people right to the point of making a decision, which I think is good. And I would agree that the hardest part is starting on that journey. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can see that. I mean, I see it all the time with my clients, right, and with myself. Like, someone will come to me and say, look, I'm gonna be 30 next year, and I've been unhealthy in my 20s. I want to change this. So you see, high pain, the motivation is there because you don't accept the situation anymore. The pain is so high that motivation is going to be there for you to do the change. And in some cases, is external stuff, like I have a wedding in a year and I want to look the best I can. So in that case, you're tired of the situation you're in. You want to change it, and that is something that is giving you a time pressure. Boom, that's giving you motivation, right? So there is only so much you can listen, or there's only so much you can watch videos or read about. Reality is high pain equals to high motivation. If then obviously you stop and you create that awareness. You need to stop, create awareness. Okay, am I happy with where I am now? what is going to happen in a year time if I keep doing what I do. So, that can apply to many areas. Obviously, we talk about nutrition, fitness. If I keep eating this way, what is going to happen? If I keep not training, what is going to happen? So if you can visualize that negative situation in the future, then you will be more likely to take action now. But if you never stop and observe, if you never stop and and just observe and try to think about this stuff, then day-to-day life, we get busy, we don't see it, and then you just I don't go to the gym because I have no motivation to go. Yeah, of course, but are you, if you ever stop and look at the situation, maybe you will find reason to do it. So again, I encourage you, if there is anything that you want to do and you've been putting it off, and you think you're not strong enough, or you're you don't have mental toughness, it's not like that. It's just sometimes you have to, okay, stop, create awareness. Okay, are you here? This is where you want to be. Why do you want that in the first place? So find the why. Again, finding a why, this is probably what I missed to say. Yeah, you need a strong why. If you have a strong why, motivation will be there. You will do anything when the why is strong enough. Actually, I just want to say, because I came up with this analogy as I was putting down some notes for this call, and I wanted to relate. And if I was asked to any of you say, why do you wake up in the morning to go to work? And what would it be the answer? Well, the first answer would be because I have to. And then I would say, okay, but why do you have to? And then, of course, yeah, actually, Ben, if you want to reply, we can do it. You can do it live.
Well,
so if I ask you, why do you wake up in the morning and work?
Right now, I do it to pay my mortgage, but I would argue that you don't have to. People can make a conscious choice not to go out and seek gainful employment, right?
True. Yeah. No, but I like that. So you say about the mortgage, right?
I do it out of necessity these days, but
yeah.
I do it really because I have a sense of professional pride, and that's why I've worked hard historically. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But let's for the sake of the argument, let's stop on the mortgage thing, right?
Sure.
So what do you want? You go to work. You wake up in the morning. You go to work because you have to pay the mortgage, right? So this is what I will think. I say, okay, why do I need to go to the gym today? I mean, you don't need to go to the gym, but why do I need to go to the gym? Well, because if I don't, I will keep feeling crap, for example. And it's the same way if I ask you, okay, why do you go to work? Because I have to pay the mortgage. So if I don't go to work, I won't be able to pay the mortgage. There is like a consequence to that. And this is what drives you to do it. I mean, again, even if we love our job, there's still many other things that we would rather do. In the same way, like, maybe going to the gym or doing a diet. It can be argued that it's not the most pleasant thing to do. Like, I'd rather be home and watch Netflix and eat ice cream, right? If I could choose. But what is the consequence of me doing that? I get lazy, I get fat, whatever, right? So same thing. What is it that you want to do? And I'm just gonna move, and then think about, okay, what's the consequence of me not doing it? If I don't go to work, I'm not gonna be able to pay the mortgage. So you're waking up. Same thing if you today you wake up and you feel, I don't really want to train, or you know what, I really fancy a pizza tonight. Cool, but just remind yourself the same way when you wake up and you go to work because there is a mortgage to pay. Just remember that there is a consequence of you not going to the gym or you eating some high calorie, low nutrient food. And so we're already using these techniques in a way in our life. We just need to learn how to use them in our favor and when we want. So yeah, I just like that analogy, because that's actually what I do. And actually, let me share this because I think it's important to share it. Even you see me, I'm a trainer, I love to train, I'm in a great shape, whatever. Do you think that I wake up every morning and I want to train? Not every day. Not every day. I'm gonna be honest. Some days I'm tired. I worked long hours, and some days I just don't want to train. But then, what makes me, or what made me do it consistently over the years? It's when I feel like that, I stop and I think, okay, what happens if I don't train? And again, it might happen time to time. Sometimes if I'm really tired, I don't have to train. It's better to have a rest day than a bad day training. But if there is not like an actual reason, and it's just that day motivation is low for some reason, I like to remind myself why I do it and what will happen if that would be like, okay, because if it happens once, what happen if I don't train? And then that thought for me is so scary. It creates so much pain that, okay, you know what? Today I'm gonna do it. There is no other way around it, because if I don't, then this will happen. I become unfit. I won't feel good with myself. So I'd rather push through it than feel bad, or as Ben said, out of fear, right? I don't wanna disappoint myself and others. So yeah, it's sad to say, but we need to use in our favor some negative emotions like pain, fear. They are there. We just need to use them the right way. And if we use them for the good stuff, then we're winning. Because at the end, if that drives us to do what we want to do, then we're winning. So yeah, that's my take on it. Ben, is there any question or anything you want to add?
No, I think it's interesting. I'd be interested to understand from some of your other clients in due course, what drivers they're using themselves. I think motivation is intrinsically, intrinsically independent, right? It's very individual how people motivate themselves. And I think it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're working out, you're trying to achieve a goal, save money, do whatever you're doing. Actually, people's motivation varies hugely. So I'd just be interested to hear what other
Yeah,
people are using.
yeah. I think ultimately the motivations for us when it comes down to, to training, nutrition. So basically, let's be honest, we want to look better. It's it's part of the status. It's part of human nature. uh, you know if you look better, that increases your chances of finding a partner. So it does satisfy a sort of primal need, in my opinion. And is healthy. I mean, it's absolutely healthy. Because also the moment we we striving to look better, we also feel better. We perform better as humans. We have more energy. We are more confident. So sometimes people wants to avoid, or they want to make you feel less when you focus on, let's say, aesthetic, or something that is how do I say, oh, the word doesn't come, uh, superficial. Yeah.
Yeah, driven by vanity, or yeah, of course.
Yeah, but they're missing they're missing the point that it's not just vanity, and it's not just being superficial. We actually, as human, we have these needs, and it's absolutely fine. It's just the way we are. It's just the way our brains are wired. So for us to satisfy is just healthy. If you're overweight and unhealthy, that shouldn't be acceptable. And now, okay, I'm being a little bit harsh, but then we create a society that it wants to be soft, and we need to understand, and all these things. But in reality, if I can help you being healthier, look better, is it superficial as well? But damn, I'm improving your whole life. So um, I think everyone um, should feel good about doing that for themselves. Yeah. So I think ultimately, that's what it comes down to. Situation varies. So some people, some people is scared to age. Like, they get the urge to get something done because they're getting older. And obviously, fear of dying, or fear of aging. Some people, they might do it, at the end of the day, it's always about yourself. Even if you do it for other people, you do it for the way you feel with other people, in a way. So yeah, ultimately, I think, the reason of the motivation, the reason of motivation are very narrow, but obviously, what triggers can be different scenarios. It can be the wedding, it can be the fact that you're turning 30, 40, it can be having a daughter. So yeah, but yeah, I will be good to create a discussion, and see what other people thinks about this topic. um, I think we can call it a day. Thank you very much, Ben, for participating. I appreciate it.
No worries, man. Thanks for having a chat to me while I'm doing the laps of my park.
Nice. Cool. So I will see you. Well, I will chat to you later, and I will see you all next week or next call. Thank you. Bye bye.